Quantum entanglement.
Oh, yeah.
That thing in quantum mechanics that even Einstein called spooky,
Right, yeah.
when two particles are linked no matter how far apart they are.
Yeah.
So we're going to untangle all this with John Stewart Bell's theorem.
Okay.
Don't worry, though. We have some great sources to help us out with this one.
Awesome.
Excerpts from pasted text and insights from Wikipedia and articles from Physics World and Quantum Magazine.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Fascinating stuff.
It is.
Yeah, before Bell, the big question was if quantum mechanics was giving us the whole picture or if something was missing.
Right.
Some physicists, Einstein included, thought there must be these hidden variables that would explain how entanglement could work without this spooky action at a distance.
So they were looking for something that would make quantum mechanics fit better with our everyday understanding of the world?
Exactly. They figured there had to be a more straightforward explanation for why these entangled particles behave the way they do.
Yeah, and that's where John Bell comes in, right, with his theorem in 1964.
Exactly.
Okay.
So Bell's theorem essentially gave us a way to test for those hidden variables that Einstein and others were searching for.
Okay.
It's like he handed us a tool to peek behind the curtain and see what was really going on.
Okay, but how do you test for something that's hidden?
Right.
Bell's theorem sounds pretty complex.
It is, but think of it this way.
Okay.
Bell's theorem uses these mathematical expressions called Bell's inequalities.
Okay.
Now, if those hidden variables existed, the correlations between the measurements of two entangled particles would have to stay below a certain limit set by these inequalities.
So it's a kind of cosmic speed limit for how connected these entangled particles can be.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay.
If those hidden variables were the driving force, the correlations couldn't exceed this speed limit set by the inequalities.
But I have a feeling quantum mechanics doesn't exactly follow the rule.
You got it.
Right.
Quantum mechanics throws a curveball.
Okay.
And says these correlations can actually exceed this speed limit. It predicts a level of connection that goes beyond what should be possible if the universe was playing by those hidden variable rules.
So faster than light communication.
Whoa.
This is where it starts to sound like science fiction.
Yeah.
How did scientists even begin to test this?
That's where Elaine Aspect and his team come in.
Okay.
In the 1980s, they conducted these groundbreaking experiments using entangled photons or particles of light. They measured their polarization states, which is basically the direction their light waves oscillate, to see if these correlations were actually happening.
So they were essentially looking to see if the measurements of these entangled photons were matching up.
Yes.
In a way that broke the speed limit set by Bell's inequalities.
Precisely. And their setup was ingenious.
Yeah.
They ensured that the measurement settings for each photon were random and super fast, preventing any sort of normal communication between the devices. This closed a potential loophole where the particles could be signaling each other in a way that didn't involve entanglement.
No cheating allowed.
Right.
So what did they find? Did the experiment support Bell's theorem?
The results were astonishing.
Okay.
They actually observed those faster-than-light correlations.
Wow.
Meaning Bell's inequalities were violated. It was a huge win for quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
And a strong indication that something truly extraordinary was happening.
That must have made some serious waves in the physics community.
Absolutely.
But science demands rigorous testing. I'm guessing there were still some doubts.
You're right. Scientists are a skeptical bunch.
Yeah.
There were still potential loopholes to address.
Okay.
One was the detection loophole, the possibility that not all entangled particles were being detected.
Okay.
Which could be skewing the results.
So they needed to make sure they were catching all the entangled pairs in action. Kind of like making sure all the data is accounted for in a study.
Exactly. And then there was that pesky locality loophole again. Making sure the measurements were truly independent and not influenced by some hidden communication. Scientists are like detectives.
Yeah.
They want to be absolutely sure they've got the right culprit.
So they had to rule out all the other possible explanations before they could confidently say that entanglement was the real deal.
Precisely.
Okay.
And over time, they did just that. They developed more sophisticated experiments that closed both of these loopholes. In fact, some recent loophole-free tests in 2015 really solidified the findings.
Okay.
It's safe to say that local hidden variable theories,
Right.
the ones Einstein and others favored,
Right.
have been pretty much ruled out.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So after decades of research, Bell's theorem and these experiments really revolutionized our understanding of how the universe works.
For sure.
But what does it all actually mean?
Right.
We've got this non-local universe with particles connected across vast distances. What are the implications?
Well,
This is where things start to get a little philosophical, right?
absolutely.
Okay.
Bell's theorem opens up a whole new can of worms.
Okay.
For one thing, it throws our classical intuition about space and time right out the window. We have to come to terms with the fact that entangled particles are connected in a way that defies our everyday experience.
Right.
Yeah. And it really challenges our understanding of how reality works.
Yeah.
Does an objective reality exist independent of our observations?
Right.
If things are interconnected in this way, does it affect how we think about cause and effect? You know, it's a lot to wrap your head around.
Yeah, it is. So we've proven entanglement is real.
Yeah.
And it's weirder than we thought. But Bell's theorem isn't just a theoretical head-scratcher, is it?
No.
It has practical applications, too, right?
Definitely. One of the most promising areas is quantum cryptography.
Okay.
Imagine a communication system that's virtually unhackable because it's based on the laws of physics themselves.
Oh, wait, unhackable?
Yeah.
How does entanglement make that possible?
Well,
Are we talking about sending messages faster than light?
not exactly.
Okay.
While entanglement seems to involve instantaneous connections,
Uh-huh.
we can't actually use it to send information faster than light.
Okay.
What we can do is use it to create cryptographic keys,
Right.
those secret codes used to encrypt and decrypt messages
Okay.
that are fundamentally secure.
So no faster than light messages.
Right.
But we can use entanglement to create unbreakable codes.
Exactly.
That's still pretty mind-blowing. How does that actually work?
There are different protocols for this,
Okay.
like BB84 and E91, that utilize entangled photons to generate these incredibly secure keys. Think of it like a lock
Okay.
that can only be opened with a key generated using the bizarre rules of quantum mechanics.
So even if someone tried to intercept these keys, they wouldn't be able to decipher them?
Right.
Without messing with the entangled particles, which would be detectable?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's like having a built-in alarm system that goes off if someone tries to tamper with a lock.
Okay.
This makes quantum cryptography incredibly powerful
Yeah.
for securing sensitive information.
Sounds like something straight out of a spy movie.
It does.
So besides cryptography, what other practical uses does Bell's theorem have?
Another game changer is the development of quantum computers.
Okay.
Imagine a computer that can solve problems
Yeah.
that are simply impossible for even the most powerful computers we have today.
That's a lot to imagine.
I know.
How do these quantum computers work?
Well,
Are they just super fast versions of our current computers?
not quite.
Okay.
They operate on completely different principles. Leveraging quantum phenomena like superposition,
Okay.
and you guessed it, entanglement,
Of course.
instead of bits,
Right.
which can be either a 0 or a 1.
Yeah.
Quantum computers use qubits, which can be in a superposition of both states simultaneously. And by entangling these qubits,
Right.
they can perform calculations in ways that are impossible for classical computers.
So they're not just faster.
Right.
They're doing something fundamentally different.
Exactly.
What kind of problems can they solve that our regular computers can't handle?
One major application is breaking the encryption
Oh.
that protects much of our online data today.
So they could potentially crack the codes that keep our online transactions and communications secure?
Yeah,
That sounds a bit unnerving.
it is.
Okay.
It's a double-edged sword. While quantum computers pose a threat to current encryption methods,
Right.
they can also be used to create new, more secure forms of encryption. It's a race to see who can harness this power first.
It sounds like we're entering a new era of cybersecurity where
Yeah.
the rules are completely different.
For sure.
But beyond code breaking, what other potential do these quantum computers have?
Think bigger.
Okay.
Quantum computers could revolutionize fields like medicine and materials science. Imagine designing new drugs by simulating complex molecules at the atomic level,
Right.
or creating materials with completely new properties.
It seems like these quantum computers could help solve some of the world's biggest challenges.
Yeah.
But are there any downsides to this quantum revolution?
Well,
Any risks or ethical considerations we should be thinking about?
that's a crucial question, and the answer is yes.
Okay.
Like any powerful technology, quantum computing has the potential for both good and bad. It's important to consider these implications as the technology develops.
So what kind of risks are we talking about?
Well,
Is it just about cybersecurity and encryption, or are there other concerns?
Cybersecurity is a big one, as we've discussed. But there are also challenges in building these quantum computers themselves.
Okay.
They are incredibly complex and sensitive machines.
Right.
And we're still in the early stages of development. It will likely be some time before they become widely available.
Right.
And even longer before they're used for everyday tasks.
So it's not like we'll all have quantum computers on our desks next year.
Not quite.
Okay.
But it's not just the technical hurdles we need to consider.
Right.
It's important to think about the ethical implications as well. For example, how do we ensure these powerful tools aren't used for harmful purposes?
Okay.
Like creating even more powerful weapons or invading people's privacy.
These are some serious questions.
For sure.
So it's not all sunshine and roses in the quantum world.
Right.
It sounds like we need to proceed with caution as we unlock the potential of this technology.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's like discovering a new, incredibly potent energy source. We need to learn to harness it safely and responsibly before it gets out of control.
It's a lot to take in.
I know.
We've gone from spooky action at a distance to mind-bending technological advancements and potential ethical dilemmas in the span of this deep dive.
It is a lot.
It's amazing to see how John Bell's work,
Yeah.
which started as a theoretical exploration of quantum mechanics,
Right.
has had such a profound impact.
It's a testament to the power of scientific inquiry.
You
never know where a simple question might lead.
Well, before we get too lost in the philosophical implications of all this, I have to ask, what's next for quantum mechanics?
Oh, good question.
What are researchers working on now?
One of the biggest puzzles is figuring out how gravity fits into the quantum world.
Okay.
We have Einstein's theory of general relativity to explain gravity on a large scale.
Yeah.
But it doesn't quite mesh with quantum mechanics, which governs the realm of the very small.
So we're still searching for that grand unifying theory that can explain both the very big and the very small.
That's the holy grail of modern physics.
Wow.
And it's not just about unifying theories.
Right.
There are also exciting developments in applying quantum mechanics to other fields like biology.
Wait, quantum mechanics in biology?
Yeah.
What does that even look like?
It's a relatively new field.
Okay.
But researchers are finding evidence that quantum phenomena might play a role in biological processes.
Like what?
From photosynthesis to bird navigation.
So those tiny quantum particles could be influencing life itself?
Possibly.
That's incredible.
It is.
Okay.
It opens up a whole new way of thinking about biology. Imagine being able to harness quantum effects to develop new medical treatments.
Right.
Enhance our understanding of consciousness.
Wow.
Or even create artificial life forms based on quantum principles.
It sounds like we're just beginning to scratch the surface of what's possible.
Yeah.
But before we get too carried away with future possibilities, let's bring it back to the present. What are some of the biggest challenges facing researchers in quantum mechanics today?
Well, besides the quest for a unifying theory of quantum gravity
and
exploring the role of quantum mechanics in biology, there are still some lingering questions about entanglement itself.
Okay.
We know it's real.
Right.
But there's still much we don't understand about its nature and potential.
So even though Bell's theorem and those loophole-free experiments have pretty much settled the debate about hidden variables, there are still mysteries to uncover.
Absolutely. For instance, we still don't fully understand how to control and manipulate entanglement on a large scale, which is essential for developing practical applications like quantum computers and communication networks.
So it's like having a powerful tool, but not quite knowing how to use it to its full potential.
Exactly. And then there are more fundamental questions,
Yeah.
like whether entanglement could be used to probe deeper into the nature of space and time, or even to test some of the more outlandish interpretations of quantum mechanics.
It sounds like there's still plenty of work to be done in this field.
Lots.
What are some of the experiments or research projects that have you particularly excited right now?
One area that I find fascinating is the development of new ways to generate and detect entanglement.
Okay.
For example, researchers are exploring the use of superconducting circuits, trapped ions, and even photons in optical fibers to create and manipulate entangled states.
So it's not just about using entangled particles for practical applications. Right. It's also about finding new and creative ways to study entanglement itself.
Exactly.
Okay.
We need to understand entanglement at a deeper level before we can fully exploit its potential.
Well, I have to say this deep dive has been quite a journey.
It has.
We've covered everything from the historical context of Bell's theorem to the mind-boggling implications for technology, philosophy, and even the nature of reality itself. But before we wrap things up, I have one final question that's been nagging at me.
Okay, I'm all ears. What's on your mind?
We've talked a lot about the implications of entanglement for technology and our understanding of the universe. But what about the human element?
Okay.
Does entanglement have anything to say about us? About what it means to be human in a universe where spooky action at a distance is a reality?
That's a profound question.
It is.
It's hard to say for sure.
Yeah.
But I think entanglement does challenge our perception of ourselves and our place in the cosmos. If particles could be connected across vast distances, if there's this underlying interconnectedness to reality, it makes you wonder if we're more connected to each other and to the universe than we realize.
It's a humbling thought.
It is.
It makes you want to look up at the night sky with a new sense of wonder and appreciation for the mysteries that lie beyond our everyday experience.
I agree. And it makes you wonder what other surprises the quantum world holds in store for us.
Well, that's a perfect note to end on.
Great.
We've explored the strangeness and wonder of quantum entanglement, and I think it's safe to say that our minds are officially blown.
Mine too.
And who knows, maybe this deep dive will inspire someone listening to make the next groundbreaking discovery in the field of quantum mechanics.
That would be fantastic.
So to all our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep an open mind to the wonders of the quantum world.
Good advice.
Because as we've learned today, the universe is full of surprises, and the more we learn, the more we realize how much more there is to discover.
Absolutely.
This deep dive has been really something else.
Yeah, it has.
It's incredible to think that something as abstract as quantum entanglement could have such huge implications for our understanding of the universe and even ourselves.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've covered so much.
We have.
From Einstein's skepticism about spooky action at a distance to a world where entanglement is not only accepted, but we are using it for new tech.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And we've seen how Bell's theorem, which started as a way to just test the completeness of quantum mechanics, has opened up entirely new avenues of research, like in cryptography, computing, and even biology.
It really has.
But even with all this progress, there's still so much we don't know about entanglement.
So do I.
It's like we've just scratched the surface of a vast and mysterious ocean.
That's the beauty of science, though.
I know, I love it.
Yeah, every answer leads to new questions. And the pursuit of knowledge never ends.
So where do we go from here?
Well,
what are the big unanswered questions about entanglement that researchers are grappling with today?
One of the most fundamental questions is how to reconcile entanglement with our understanding of space and time.
Okay.
If entangled particles are truly connected instantaneously, no matter the distance, it suggests that our ideas of space and time might be incomplete or even fundamentally flawed.
So entanglement could be a key to unlocking a deeper understanding of the very fabric of the universe.
Oh, that's a very real possibility.
Wow.
And it's not just about theoretical physics either. There are practical challenges too.
Yeah, like what?
In harnessing the full potential of entanglement.
Okay.
For example, we still don't fully understand how to create and manipulate large-scale entangled systems. Which is essential for building practical quantum computers and communication networks.
It sounds like there's still a lot more engineering work to be done.
For sure.
Before we can really use all of the potential of these quantum technologies.
A lot of work to do.
And then there are the deeper philosophical implications of entanglement. What does it say about the nature of reality? About the relationship between observer and observed? About our place in a universe where seemingly impossible connections are not only possible but fundamental? These are questions that have puzzled philosophers and scientists for centuries.
For sure.
And entanglement seems to just add a whole new layer of complexity to the debate.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that we are a part of a universe that is far stranger. And more wondrous than we ever imagined.
I agree.
And as we continue to explore the quantum realm, who knows what other mind-blowing discoveries await us.
I, for one, am eager to find out.
Me too.
This deep dive has been a truly enlightening experience, and I'm sure our listeners feel the same way.
It's been a pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, we hope this deep dive has inspired you to keep asking questions, keep exploring, and keep an open mind to the wonders of the quantum world.
Yeah, good advice.
Because as we've learned today, the universe is full of surprises. And the more we learn, the more we realize how much more there is to discover.
Absolutely.